mentally, physically. We're excited, man. We're excited. If the fight was next Saturday, you will be ready for it. We talk about Roy. Roy for now was 4 years ago. Today, Mike is much.
As the hours count down to the highly anticipated fight between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, excitement is at an all-time high. Each fighter brings their own skills and experiences to the ring. Fans are eagerly guessing about what might happen. Will Mike Tyson's famous strength and experience be too much for Jake Paul in this fight, or could it be the one that makes him a real boxing contender? Here are some of the things that could happen in the ring, which is famous for its early rounds. If Tyson wants to start the fight quickly and aggressively, Paul might have to be on guard right away because of his famously quick uppercuts and hooks. If Tyson keeps up his famous speed and power, Paul could be hit over and over again, making him protect himself against one of the strongest fighters of all time. While Tyson's strength is frightening, Paul has shown resilience and a surprising adaptability in his past fights. If Paul can get through the first round, he might get a chance to show off his counter-punching skills as he trains. Paul has developed a sharp jab and effective body shots, which he may use to wear Tyson down. He could use his longer reach to keep Tyson away by throwing jabs and then moving back to avoid Tyson's power punches.
This fight means to him. He sees this as the cherry on top of his career.
On my fight with Roy Jones, I allowed him to fight on the card.
In this fight, endurance is going to be very important. Tyson, who is 58 years old, may want to end the fight quickly because he knows that his age can make it hard for him to keep going. Paul, being significantly younger, may try to use this to his advantage, dragging the fight into the later rounds and trying to outlast Tyson. If the fight does extend into the later rounds, Paul's youth and condition could give him the upper hand.
And that he could end in the dopest way possible by taking out the most famous boxer of current times.
Both Tyson and Paul have knockout power, but the scale and impact vary. Tyson's punches are legendary, often ending fights with a single hit. Paul, while less experienced, has developed a strong overhand right that could prove dangerous if he manages to land it cleanly. If either fighter drops their guard, a knockout could be in the cards, making every moment suspenseful for fans and watchers alike.
Gets a lot of hate for whatever reason they feel like they need to hate him on. In my opinion, I think most of the hate comes from a place of jealousy. But I can also understand the fact that there's some reflection on yourself, because you see a guy who didn't come from this sport, but give more to the sport than 99% of the people that are in the sport.
The mental part of this fight is huge. Tyson is used to the pressure, having faced some of the best fighters in the world during his prime. For Paul, however, this is his biggest challenge yet, and he'll need to remain composed. Any sign of hesitation could give Tyson an opening to capitalize. Alternatively, if Tyson underestimates Paul, he might find himself unexpectedly on the defensive.
I'm not getting my bit off on Friday night, so I got my diamond spiked ear covers right there.
If Tyson's power is too strong, the fight could end quickly in the early rounds. Tyson might launch a devastating combination that overwhelms Paul's defenses, possibly resulting in an early round knockout. Tyson fans expect to see his classic aggression here, so Paul will need to be careful during the first few rounds.
Everyone wants to know what's going through your mind. Is the old Mike back? Is vintage Mike back? Let us know.
Are you talking to me right now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess I'm back, yeah.
You're the star.
I'm just happy to be here.
If Paul withstands Tyson's opening assault, he might shift the momentum in his favor by the middle rounds. If he can maintain a strong defense and keep his distance, he could tire Tyson out by the later rounds. If Tyson's energy wanes, Paul could capitalize and possibly win by decision, showing his growth as a disciplined boxer. An unpredictable situation could involve both fighters trading knockdowns in a thrilling back and forth. Tyson's heavy punches could drop Paul, only for Paul to rally and return fire. This situation would keep fans on the edge of their seats, making for a wildly exciting match that showcases the best of both fighters.
Someone's getting put to sleep. It's going to be a war, and we're both heavy hitters. It's not going the full 60.
If both fighters stay on their feet throughout all rounds, the fight may come down to the judge's decision here. Paul's youth and conditioning might give him an edge if he's able to maintain accuracy and composure against Tyson's powerful, possibly sporadic punches.
not gonna lose.
But just you say that in the last minute of the second
I am
countdown.
not gonna lose. Did you hear what I said?
Thank you.
Many are backing Tyson all the way. After all, this is Iron Mike we're talking about, one of the most iconic fighters ever to grace the ring, but let's be honest, the age gap is a huge factor here. Tyson is 58, while Paul is only 27, so with that being a 31-year difference, there's no doubt that age will impact the outcome, and it's going to shape how this fight unfolds. Many casual fans think boxing is purely about skill and technique. Don't get me wrong, those are important in terms of technical prowess. Tyson is leagues ahead of Paul, his fighting IQ is off the charts, honed over decades in the ring. Tyson's mastery of positioning, timing, and movement is on a level Paul can't yet match. But here's the catch, despite all that knowledge and experience, Tyson's age is a major factor. His body, especially his reaction time, isn't what it was in his prime in a contact sport where taking hits is expected. Facing punches at nearly 60 is no easy feat.
Well, I think he's going to look good in the picture when he's on the canvas and I'm standing over him. There's a lot of talk online saying you're going to kill me and it just nothing in person. I don't know. It's pretty boring,
In his prime, Tyson was known for his incredible durability. He could absorb heavy punches and keep pressing forward. However, years of taking hard hits eventually wore down even the toughest fighters. It's a harsh truth, but time and repeated knockouts leave a lasting effect today. Tyson shows the effects of age and accumulated damage, making him more vulnerable to knockouts than someone like Paul, who simply hasn't taken the same physical toll. On the other side, there's Jake. Paul, regardless of what you think of him, is young, active, and at 27, he's right in his physical prime. His youth is a huge advantage in a demanding sport like boxing, where resilience and the ability to absorb hits are important. Unlike Tyson, Paul hasn't experienced the same punishing career battles, which means he can take powerful shots and still stay in the fight. If Tyson scores a few solid hits, Paul might just shake them off and keep coming, which is something we can't overlook when sizing up this matchup, but there's more to consider. Style is also a big factor in how this bout could unfold. Tyson's famous for his peekaboo stance, a style demanding razor-sharp head movement. Swift dodges and boundless energy. This approach helps him to close the distance quickly, weaving past opponents' punches to launch devastating counters. In his youth, Tyson did this technique with astonishing speed and precision, cementing his place as one of the most feared fighters of his era. However, there's a drawback. The peekaboo stance relies heavily on speed, and as time goes by, speed is often the first thing to fake.
Nice. Come on, punch him. Yeah.
Tyson's power might still pack a punch, but his speed has naturally declined with age, an unavoidable fact even for a still swift, 58 years old. The big question remains, will he be fast enough to dodge and counter Paul's strikes? On the flip side, Paul may lack Tyson's wealth of experience, but he's been training relentlessly and is dedicated to making boxing his craft. Paul may have started as a YouTuber, but he spent years transforming himself into a serious fighter with 3 to 4 years of intense training under top coaches. He's no amateur, he's honed his skills in professional gyms, learning from the best in the sport. And let's not ignore his knockout power. We've seen it in motion when he floored Tyron Woodley and took down Anderson Silva. Sure, those fighters weren't in their prime, but Paul's punch speaks for itself. He's got the kind of raw strength that can end a fight in a moment. He's like a wild horse in the ring with a punch that could shift momentum in his favor. The real question is, can he land that punch on Tyson?
It's cute, you know, I fear no man, so I want him to be that old savage Mike. He says he's going to kill me. Is that what you're going to do, Mike? Because I'm ready. I want that killer. I want the hardest match possible Friday night, and I want there to be no excuses from everyone at home when I knock him out. So is that what you're going to bring? Homicide?
Now let's talk about the fight style. 2-minute rounds. This setup greatly favors Tyson, as the shorter rounds allowed him to sustain his energy and maintain a consistent pace. With more regular breaks, he'll have an easier time recovering between rounds. In boxing, stamina is key, and it directly affects speed. The more energy Tyson can preserve, the faster he'll move. This agility could help him dodge Paul's power punches, but here's the real question: which fighter will bring the better game plan? Paul's plan likely revolves around pressing forward with full force, capitalizing on his youth and stamina. He's shown no hesitation against veteran fighters in the past. like Anderson Silva, where he came in relentlessly throwing heavy punches with no respect for age or reputation. Paul isn't out there to show difference, he's out to make a statement. Securing a knockout this time would allow him to claim the victory over a legendary name, a win he's surely hungry for. Tyson vs. Paul is a battle that has captivated fans across the world, each bringing their own anticipation and excitement. It's a fight between the famous legend and the audacious upstart. Tyson with his storied career legacy and unmatched experience, and Paul with his youth power and a fierce determination to make a name for himself. Whether you're backing Tyson to prove that skill and experience still hold sway, or hoping to see Paul rise to the top and ETCH his name in boxing history, this showdown is set to be unforgettable.